Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Good 8 Ace Attorney, the Good 8 Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last episode, we did our first part of our investigation. We found stuff that seemed out of place, like these handprints over here in the floorboard. This episode, we're gonna be continuing exploring, and next up we should do Garrett or the prison? Let's go prison. Oh, Mr. Natsume's back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello! I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or her elections, or know about courts or trials or the Old Baileys. I'm a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. It worked! He's back into the real world! So you were stuck as a cat. Oh, what's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accused soul is never going to escape this cursed fate! Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court proved that there's hope. Yes. Welcome to Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent in court, in my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? Think perhaps there are some things we should discuss? Oh, yes, we must. Alright, what do we have to discuss? In my whole life, I've never been so moved by I was today. No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom was the most moving experience of my life. Welcome to Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea, just as we deduce, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn, sworn, Soseki certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured her down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the same time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear didn't engage in the Romeo-Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim. Mr. Shamspear. The rotten Shamspear! What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all. Right. What I don't understand is why you didn't let me know sooner. I'll let you know what, Mr. Natsume. About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I would have chosen to live in a cursed existence to such accused lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place's curse is that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of the capital, if any who lived there, still haunts the place. And it's trying to kill me! Capital offender. Might ask local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, the next time you visit me, you bring me scores of super soft soaps. Okay. Is there anything I can present to him? Do you know anything about the handprints? Huh. Can I not present anything at all? I guess not. Oh wait, the present button's over there? Fuck me. Maybe the handprints. Mr. Natsume, is it nothing much but... Oh, it's been too long since I offered a present with that delight beyond etiquette of our homeland. Nani? You're too kind. I accept it gladly. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you actually. No? What was this? Oh, what's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer and the evil spirit behind the curse that inflicts my lodgings. Nani? He's already taken one young man's life and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable mustached, much maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Capital offender Selden. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until this very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. At the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garredep's house. Nani? He lived? Where you do now? You do now? That's right, exactly where I live now, in my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? Before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. A man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Nani? Locked from the inside? That's exactly like the case we're dealing with now. Is this coincidence? That it could be the same killer? I don't know. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, that was the start of it all. A convict's curse. Do you have any idea about how the lodger, before you pass away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? Only found out after I signed the lease. When Mr. Garredep came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I probably would have been too scared to take the room. Landlords, please, luckily, legal. Lucky for Mr. Garredep, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. Now you believe this curse is affecting you. It is, at first. I just felt as though I was being watched. All the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? That are trying to make me take them with them. They're coming back for me and try to suffocate me. And when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice. But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating or overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb onto bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation that led to the previous occupant's death. And that's what happened to Mr. Shakespeare And then there's what happened to Mr. Shakespeare last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident than it can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever that can be the cause of all these strange things in Mr. Garadeb's rooms. I think we have to speak to Garadeb himself, I believe. Alright. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garadeb.
Right bally business for this for me, you know. Getting out and about.
Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance?
Naturally. Fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss.
The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes.
Of course the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings are some such.
Ah, well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know?
Yes, I'm quite sure it does. In fact, I'm thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Stopped off the prison at the way home, in fact. Beastly business.
I see.
That's right. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh?
Okay. Is there anything that needs needs to be searched? Nopers? I don't think there's anything. Alright, just talk to him.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor, a chap quite a questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse.
The convict's curse, you mean?
Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, and then the next chap in the next room goes and keels over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just on the outside of the street. Not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you?
When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green was who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamstreet, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems.
Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, and a fascinating history. Why? It sounds like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included. Or no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up there?
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like.
I think you had your mishap already, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes. That's just mocking him. Okay. Heavens forgive me! The words just came to my lips.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East, and a failed actor, chap of questionable character, eh?
There's no need for that, Mr. Garadeb. That's right. Mr. Natsume is no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Yes, that's right. I asked for the estate agent to find someone, and he popped up this very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamspears been lodging under your roof?
That failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been like 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months? He's quite new here, too, then. And to what do I owe to this certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrett, if I might ask?
Well, it was at Selden Scoundrel as it happens.
Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamsy have some kind of connection, then?
That convict Selden passed away in the clique 3 months ago now, you see, my lady or other.
Yes, we've seen a report from the newspaper at the time.
Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face. The actor fellow.
Really?
Yes, I remember it quite distinctly.
Oh, 'tis a small world, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspear, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered for rent.
Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger in the middle floor. Ground floor's room's vacant, though.
Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine will unto thee.
Those crows must be muffling your ears. The room in the middle floor is taken. The ground floors are nothing.
Very well, we have an accord.
Glad to hear it. Welcome to Bryra.
Oh, a Shamspear dance to celebrate. He must be eager to get the room.
From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was stealing gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, all right.
Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrett. We are most grateful. By way of preaching, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. What has happened to you? I can't even process what you were doing there. Shakespeare, my dear friend, one of his famous lines. Oh, I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn up for the literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then. There's something that's also bothering me. Let me present this. What do you know about this? You had a picture with this person. Mr. Garrett, can I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there?
No, not at all. It was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name.
Duncan Ross.
A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot just for kicks, really.
Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Is what Mustache was waiting for, one might say.
Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap.
Would you mind telling us a little more about him?
Yes, Duncan Ross, young chap was attending art school, had to work to pay for it mine. We moved into the middle floor room about a year ago, after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
History of cheap rent, maybe, yes.
Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked up the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. The smell of gas that alerted me it was.
Ah, yes, synonymous with the smell of death.
Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. And once we got inside, we all badly collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes, room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, the police got me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Did you tell how much it set back for the lot replaced all over the house?
Even after you had that all the work done, Mr. Natsumi says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's the bally curse the convicts, since I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive. Or maybe you could just shut down the room?
Oh, that reminds me, actually.
Hold up. Ow. Sorry, mic problem? Yes?
About young Duncan the night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Yes. Where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk.
If you excuse me. Let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Susato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading if you'll excuse me. I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes, no.
Said he didn't address it though, so I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
I see. It's going to play on my mind. Well, really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no more bearing on the case. You should leave well alone. I feel like that's gonna have important bearings on the case. We'll see. Yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing, however. There is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I already had to chastise you about this once. My undying love to you, my colorful darling. Olive green. I knew it. Fuck! It is. So it is related. Oh my god. Olive green? The woman was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Soseki-san was in court for regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name has just come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Naruhodo, whatever can this mean? Oh, reading personal oral correspondence can have its merits, you see, Miss Sada. Oh, ha 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 ha. Well, we got a huge clue indeed. And it looks like I think we have to go to visit someone. Yeah. Huh? Where's my screen? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, I just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged. At last. Well, this is good news, at least. What is it? Oh, there she is. Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. One moment. I will be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? Doctor said I could be discharged. So I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what are you just doing? Oh, nothing really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, then she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can coax something out of her. What is this? This is the bottle that Miss Green was just about to drink from when we arrived. Yes, she looked rather preoccupied, didn't she? Perhaps it's very bitter. I can't stand bitter medicine. I suppose that could be it. In fact, whenever a doctor prescribes me medicine for a number of days, I always take it all at once. Oh no! Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's best to get it all out of the way in one go, isn't it? Oh dear, and I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about at the moment. It's the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it? Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at a young woman's private effects. Right, I should save peeking for the gentleman's effects only. You mustn't do that either. And maybe you, Miss Sato, should be peeking into a young man's mind. The rat. Hospital discharge. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh, yes, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space, not people like me anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. You probably shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. You may have to present something. Huh, we can't present people? Maybe this? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross, you knew him, didn't you? What the fuck is that? Oh no, I'm so sorry, the bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Miss Green, are you alright? Oh no. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I wasn't expecting it. How do you know about Duncan? Miss Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan, a year ago now. And he was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why I decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. That's what led him to Mr. Garrett-Ebbs. Yes, he told me he found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. Then 1 month ago, that's when it happened. I'm so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green, she looks so desperately sad. I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but... You mind? Won't think I'm being rude, but I'm sorry. I'm having trouble with dialogue. I'm so sorry, guys. You mind leaving me in peace and I have to leave the hospital soon? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hold you up. Mr. Naruhodo. Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. But, Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. Of course I was, my dear fellow, watching intently from the shadows, as always. Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what is this all about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Sato, is this. Why do detectives insist on an ex facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let's prevent this case from ever happening. With nothing but careful observation. Alright? All the clues now you see this set before you. You need only look and you cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can. Alright. The fuck? Rat-son! That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before, did you? Think perhaps they drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle? But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. Poison? You don't think. Ah, I see you come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. As of a tragedy is about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling to place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilt onto the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. Rat-son! I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Are you trying to commit suicide? Oh my god. Don't worry. I will attend to the mouse presently. Pepe Hen's mouse, son. Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Once we left, you would have put it on your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison? No! Miss Green, please talk to us. Tell us about the suicide. 10 seconds later, we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we have not enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green.
Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight's been lifted.
Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine?
Well, this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking.
Oh, conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains.
I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow.
Oh, please, Miss Green. Don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that.
Oh no, it's all my fault. What have I done?
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take you have no objection.
No. None.
Oh my. Is there anything else I should be worried about? There is also one thing. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it within her hand in what can be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes. May very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believed was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. The card. What was the card? Neither the sender's name or address appears to be written on the envelope or the card. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god! The torn off envelope! This is related!
It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road on 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is precisely the time when the incident occurred. Oh my god. The Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road, being on the street that Mr. Garrett's house is on. Does this mean that...
Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck by the back of that knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad.
Goodness. So that's what you were doing at Briar Road that day.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before.
What a coincidence, though.
I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry to have drag you such painful memories for you.
No, it's fine.
Miss Green, please, promise you won't try to do anything like that again.
Yes, don't worry about it. Your detective friend has the ball to know anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison. I'm still here.
Oh, damn. Plot armor.
I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. You might sound a little conceited, but well, that's how it all just made me feel.
Well, leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it appeared that we reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be used to you to court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamsby of Mr. Garrett's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to the case, and yet we need to see the heart of it all, if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. I can't help but wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes, will they have found strychnine in it? Or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barak von Zeeks. I wish you every success, of course, although I was late to rise this morning. Tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour to attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, so my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. That's all that's left, is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. Well, that's all we can really hope for. London, the world's most prosperous city. Home to 6 million people. And away from the razzle-dazzle down back alleys and behind bricked-up walls, a lonely Turk. Seki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during many months here. And so I felt honored bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse equally that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn for all of us. Alright. Alright, let's save real quick. And yeah, I guess that'll be it for today's episodes. Jared! Oh my god, Jared. So yeah, next time on Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I hope you guys will continue to watch as we start the trial, I guess. I guess I'll see you guys all next time.